Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Grassley.
Aye.
Mr. Grassley, aye. Mr. Cornyn.
Aye.
Mr. Cornyn, aye. Ms. Cortez Masto. Ms. Cortez Masto, no. Ms. Warren.
No.
Ms. Warren, no. Mr. Sanders.
No.
Mr. Chairman, the final tally was 14 ayes, 13 nays.
The vote was 14-13. The nomination is reported.
This morning, the Senate Finance Committee voted to advance RFK Jr.'s nomination as Health and Human Services Secretary in the Trump administration. The 14-13 vote was divided along party lines. Now, Kennedy's victory came after he managed to win over a Republican senator, Bill Cassidy, who was kind of on the fence about it. Cassidy is a doctor, and last week he had signaled that he had some reservations and some serious issues with Kennedy and questioned whether he was even qualified to be the head of the Department of Health and Human Services. He even admitted that he was struggling with this decision. Well, that has now changed, obviously. Ahead of the vote this morning, Cassidy wrote this on X. I've had very intense conversations with Bobby and the White House over the weekend and even this morning. I want to thank Vice President JD specifically for his honest counsel with the serious commitments I've received from the administration and the opportunity to make progress on the issues we agree on, like healthy foods and a pro-American agenda. I will vote yes, and vote yes he did. So according to NBC News, Cassidy needed to hear an unequivocal statement from Kennedy that vaccines do not cause autism and that he would listen to scientists and follow the scientific evidence on the matter. However, it's unclear whether or not Kennedy agreed to Cassidy's demand. Like, we don't know if RFK Jr. gave him the statement, the unequivocal statement that he was looking for. With Cassidy's support, Kennedy is much more likely to be confirmed given Republicans' 53-47 advantage in the Senate. Kennedy can afford 3 no votes among Republicans, assuming every Democratic senator opposes his nomination. And so there are a few other Republicans or Republican senators, namely Susan Collins, Mitch McConnell, and Lisa Murkowski, who may still vote against Kennedy, but most members of the conference have rallied around his nomination. But as this news breaks, there were some bad news stories coming out about alleged sexual misconduct involving RFK Jr., some settlements that have come to light. We'll get to the details on that in just a minute.
Yeah, so I think because of one of those stories, it's not guaranteed that he's gonna get confirmed. So, and remember, he's not really a right winger. He's kind of his own thing. And so he's got some left wing positions. He has plenty of right wing positions. And so, but the one that I'm most not concerned about, the one that's most relevant is right wingers trying to leak against him. So since he's not really one of them, getting rid of him isn't necessarily so bad for them.
Yeah,
right?
That's a really good point, Cenk. And it turns out that his closest aide, who's been working with him for over a decade, is pretty left wing and is very outspoken on social media and says things that conservatives are not in favor of. So, you had floated the possibility that some of these negative news stories could be leaked by right wingers. And I'm beginning to think there's some merit to that argument.
Yeah, and so if he loses, it's not the end of the world for them.
Right.
And remember, there's right-wing voters who generally like Kennedy, right? Yeah. Then there's right-wing politicians and consultants and lobbyists, and they don't like Kennedy.
That's right.
Right, and so they might not like him for a different reason than we do, right? And they might be less concerned about the vaccines, although I bet the pharmaceutical companies are pretty concerned about the vaccines too. But the food companies are like, whoa, this guy's an environmentalist, this guy sues corporations, right? And now he's gonna come in here and actually try to keep the food safe. That's gonna cost us money, right?
Yep.
And then the pharmaceutical companies gotta be thinking, look, man, what if he gets off the vaccine and gets onto the real problem, which is that we don't allow for negotiating of our prices. We just force the American government to pay whatever ransom we want. If he gets into that, that's trillions of dollars. So all of a sudden, right wing leaking against Bobby Kennedy Jr. So that's super interesting turn of events here. So he gets by committee, but remember they got to vote for the whole Senate now.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.